Alright, so in this video we're going to talk about the FactoryTalk Site Edition animation. As you see right now, I have bottles flowing through the application and are on the conveyor that's actually flowing through, and you can actually go to the next section, which is labeling. Right here, this is another one that you can see animation happening as well. So during filling, we can see this is filling, right? It's an empty bottle to actual full bottle. We want to know how the animation's done, so we want to focus on that. Now this video will be specifically for Site Edition. It doesn't matter if you're running local, network, or network distributed. This will all work the same. Just keep in mind, I'm going to show you how this is done on the Instafizz application, so that you can maybe open your eyes and actually show you how that situation is actually done, right? So first, we want to open up the application. I already have it open to save time, but if you wanted to actually come over here and know this is filling and capping, so we can just easily go down to our displays and go to filling and capping. Okay, open that up, and this is where the animation happens, right? So each individual, this right now is grouped together. So how do I know that? Is because I can ungroup it. I can also look over here in properties and see that this is a item that is grouped together and has a lot of individual items. I can also keep double clicking and seeing each object itself that they have grouped together. So each one of these is something that they have intentionally grouped together to show you movement. In this case, we're going to right click. So what we're trying to move, what we're going to do is we're going to right click it, and then we're going to go up to animation. Now the animation, in this case, you could use vertical or vertical position or horizontal position. We're going to use horizontal. All right, so in this case, and that's what was already previously used, so we're just describing that. So we're going to open that up and know that, again, we're moving the group of objects, not a single one object. We're moving the group of objects. So right here, we can see that they have an expression. This expression is merely a tag inside of a PLC program. Okay, and I'm going to show you that tag in just a second, but let's go ahead and talk about this. This expression is just a tag, and what is important to know is the expression range. If the tag you're using happens to have minimum or maximum property values, meaning they're already preset, you can use this top one. In this case, in their example, they use constants, and they predefine the constants that they put in. So 0 to 8,000. They also use the horizontal offset, which is in pixels. So everything on the HMI screen is placed where it is on the screen for as far as that's done by the pixels it's actually controlled by, or either put in there. So in this case, the minimum pixels is 0, the maximum pixels is 64. Now when we talk about that, we talk about pixels, right? So we talk about pixels, and we want to go right here. If we open up any one of these things, and let's just pick this one because it's really simple. The pixels is the positioning, okay? And the pixel size is the object size, right? So just keep that in mind too, right? Now we're going to go ahead and paste this in here. So we're going to come over here and get the tag, and I'm going to open it up right here and paste it in there. Now, so you can see the tag that's being used. All right. Now what's happening in here is there's a data area inside of FactoryTalk Site Edition in this version, or in this application that they actually are showing. There's a data area. Okay, so that's first and foremost, that's where it starts. The root, this is called the root of the application, and then it's looking for the data, right? So in the root of the application, it's looking for the area, data area. Then we're going to be looking for the shortcut, the PLC shortcut. So how do we communicate to the PLC? Now that's done through the area, through FactoryTalk links, and then the communication setup. Now the communication setup is how we're communicating out to our actual PLC, and that shortcut in this application is just merely called shortcut. You could have called it whatever you want to, and in this example they called it shortcut. All right, so now that we have that actually talked about, we have the communication path. We fully understand our communication path going outward, or how we're communicating through FactoryTalk. We now want to look at this portion. So we're trying to go to the PLC side, and we're trying to say, okay, this is not going to be controller tags. This is going to be a program scope tag. Okay, so not controller tag, a program scope tag. So we're going to call out a program, and we're going to call out a program called labeler D. So let's open up our PLC program, and I want to close this so I can show you real quick how easy this is. So if you just open the program and it was just like this, we know it's not going to be in the controller tags, controller scope. We want to go into program scope, and the program we want to actually call out is labeler D. Okay, so labeler D right here. We want to drop that down, and we want to go to parameters or local tags. In your case, it depends on what version of Studio 5000 you're running, or RS Logics you're running. RS Logics 5000. You could have, it could say local tags instead of just parameters and local tags. Okay, so we're going to open that up, and then what we're going to do is, so we're now inside the program scope tags of labeler D, and we want to look for motion animation. We're going to paste that in here. We're going to hit enter, and we're going to find where it's being used in the program. Right here is where it's being used, and you can see that that is a timer that is ranging from it's a preset of 5 seconds, so every 5 seconds it resets itself. So they're using this tag itself to control the animation on that screen. So and when that comes down to it, you can see that just by looking at that right there. So if we looked at another one, just real quick, if we want to look at another one that is doing that same thing, we can right click, go to properties, horizontal. In this case, they're looking for the same tag. Okay, so that just shows you, let's just do packaging. Packaging does another one. Let's see if they're using the same tag on that as well. This one is a little bit different. It's actually in Pack D, and it's called packaging case movement. So in this case, the constants are completely different. You can see the range. They're doing the pixel offset of 0 and 64. So let's look in that. That's going to be Pack D. So in the program, we want to go to Pack D, and then we want to come over here and find that that tag. So in that tag, we can see that it has a bunch of destructive bits. So what we want to do is come over here to the compute, and that's basically how they're computing that. So it's not, in this case, it's not necessarily as easy as just running a timer. This is more of a complex compute statement, but in the same focus, it is controlled by a timer. So just know that is how that is working. So hopefully that did show you how to do horizontal positioning, like moving parts through a conveyor, or on a conveyor, or from one end of the screen to another end of the screen. It's really based upon, again, coming in, looking at your constants you're using, and then your pixels. I suggest you kind of play with it yourself and kind of learn it. Just note that you cannot animate just any object, so just keep that in mind. There are some other things that can be a talk for a whole nother day, but just know that if you're trying to do animation and you're trying to do that a certain way, right? So if we want to copy this, and we want to copy the whole thing and then paste it again, we can move that up here and have animation up here. So you can see if I run this, I'll have animation up here, and now you can see the real way that's working. You can kind of see it's going from one end of the screen to another, and when it resets itself, it's going to place it back. Okay, So just keep that in mind. So once it's done, you see that? Now what's keeping it moving on the screen is, again, the constants and stuff that's being used. Now I can show you that. And another key thing I want to show you too on the Instafizz is, if you don't know, you can put this in learning mode and actually get a little bit more education out of this as well. So if you have that application, I highly suggest that you use that, because it gives you helpful tips and tricks that, well, kind of like you can read through it and show how to do different things. Like in this case, they're showing gradient. In this case, they're showing object movement, and they're actually showing the movement, in this case, vertical. So if we want to, we can go into that screen and see, right click and go to animation, and you can look at vertical positioning. And now they're using this in a vertical up and down. So vertical is up and down, and then horizontal, what we have talked about, is from left to right. Well, it's basically, yeah, left to right from on the screen, or right to left, whatever you wanted it to actually accomplish. But this is up and down. So in this case, they're using that up and down. So if we played that, we can see that this is going to move up and down on the application. So right here, so it's already moved all the way down, and then it's going to reset itself. So you see that how that works. So hopefully you learned a lot from this video. Again, I know it was kind of it was really fast, and it was really kind of compact in one little area. And there's probably a lot of questions that you do have about that, but just keep in mind, when it goes to animation, I recommend, especially when doing horizontal positioning or vertical positioning, that you do add your tag in there. Do some practicing yourself, and the more you do, the more you'll understand how the movement will actually work. That's about the best way to actually learn that. But I want to give you this application to show you how to open your eyes on how that mechanism and how that's working under the hood, so that you can do it yourself and actually start that process of kind of that deep learning, that muscle memory behind learning. Because if you're anything like me, you have to do it before you learn it. So before you actually know it, you have to do it, right? So learning it is watching it, and then doing it is actually understanding and knowing how that works. So hopefully, again, you learned a lot from this video. We'll see you guys on the next one.